folks, Ben McNulty coming to you from Santa Cruz, California. In today's lesson block, we're going to look at my song On the Line with Dixie, which will feature some hybrid cascading scales in the key of G as well as in the key of E. We'll be utilizing the Mixolydian mode, the major scale, as well as the minor scale, highlighting the first, the third, and the fifth position triads for each key. Let's take a look at the key of G, the cascading scale for the song On the Line with Dixie. What I'm going to do here, folks, is substitute the open positions, as many open positions as I can, for the closed positions of the major scale. In this case, the Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do that we're looking at will be substituted with open positions. It'll look and sound a little something like this. Again. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Ideally, to get the cascading scale approach, or the hybrid cascading techniques, you'll need to utilize a pick and your fingers. It's not just a technique that can be done utilizing a flat pick. If you elect to use a flat pick, you'll need to use your fingers number 2 and number 3 as well. I choose to use a thumb pick, which allows me to use my fingers 1 and 2. So you want to emphasize that. Let's take a look at how that works. On my right hand, you can see that I'm accelerating my phrasing with my thumb, my first, and my second finger. Alright, let's take a look at the key of G. What's going on in the On the Line with Dixie instrumental in the key of G will be some hybrid cascading scales that look and sound a little something like this. Now let's take a look at what's happening here. In this case, we're starting in the key of G, open. Okay, and we're going to use a Mixolydian mode. You'll notice a flatted 7th here. To highlight this, we're going to look at where that falls in. Open G, I'm going to roll off the A string to the B flat to the B, open D to the E, and then we're going to go to the open G. Traditional bluegrass riff, a traditional country riff that a lot of us probably know and recognize. Now what's going to make this different here is when I utilize the major scale here, again going from the Mixolydian there, that flatted 7th, to the major scale, what I'm going to do is again start substituting these closed positions for opening positions. In the key of G I have some great cascading options. Let's take a look at what they are. Now this is starting on the 3rd, using the G, major position. As you can see, my lead selection finger in this case is my middle finger. So let's take a look at how we're going to roll this. We're going to come in with our middle finger, lead selection finger. We're going to roll off the B to the B flat to the open D. Then we're going to come up here to the 7th position, to the E, to the F, and then I have an open G. As you can see, I am accenting that with my thumb and first finger. I'm going to repeat the exact same phrasing on the number 4 string, and that's going to be on the A position, and that's going to be 7th fret. So we're going to go A sharp, and then we have an open B. So, putting those two pieces of this cascade together sound like this. We have another one. Now this one here, I'm going to shift down. As you can see here, I'll descend down on this next string. To get this next cascade, I'm going to take and use my 4th string, my D string, and I'm going to take the 5th and 7th position, and then my open B. So it's going to look and sound like this. Okay, now for this portion of the cascading scale, I'll start on the E. I'm going to use my E note on the A string, on the number 5 string. We're going to go E to the F, and then we're going to add the open D. Cascade. Alright, we're going to repeat the exact same phrasing on the D string, and again, 7th to the 8th position. In this case, I'm using my A to my A sharp, and we're going to use the B string as our cascading note, our open B. It's going to look and sound like this. So putting those two together, look and sound like this. Okay, let's add our 3rd cascading note. Our 3rd cascading note is going to take place on the number 3 string, and we're going to be utilizing the C note and the D note. and we're going to be cascading that with an open E. That's going to look and sound like this. So let's tie those together. And again. So we have this so far. Okay, so for the descending portion of the cascade, let's take a look at what's happening here. On the B note, the number 2 string, I'm in the G position, and I'm going to answer that with an A. I beg your pardon, I'm going to answer that with an open E. Okay? From here, we're going to go ahead and start our descent down into the 7th position. That's going to give us the D note. I'm using my middle finger there. Okay? And as you notice, I'm going to answer that with an open B. Okay, open strings. Again, for the cascading, we want to emphasize as many open strings as we can. Now, here's my next note would be in this case, we have a A sharp. A sharp would be the next note. Okay, from here, we have our open D to the F, and that's a hammer-on. We're going to go open D to the F, to the open G, back to the F. Kind of look and sound like this. So let's tie these together. One more time. Let's take a look at my 16th note attack as far as my flat picking goes. On the song On the Line with Dixie, you'll notice in my intro that I'll have a very aggressive 16th note entry in the key of E. Now in this case, I'm utilizing a flat picking concept. I'm abandoning my cascading scales and my hybrid chicken picking, and I'm going with strictly conventional fast movements that you can utilize simply with a flat pick. In this case, again, starting on the 7th position E. And again, that's one of the great emphasis. One of the things that I wanted to emphasize when I wrote that song was to bring to the table a lot of the different techniques that we'll utilize in this particular style of playing. So again, in this case, I'm utilizing cascading scales, hybrid techniques, hammer-ons, pull-offs. I'm choking the strings. I'm using these clucking techniques that we've talked about, but as well, just a straight-up flat-picking 16th note attack. And again, combining these different techniques is what I would encourage you to do to help yourself get to the next level that you're trying to achieve with this particular style.